Hi, welcome to Conversion Conversations. This is Cameron, and today I am super excited to share with you one of my latest gets, and my new favorite Transformer toy. This is a Masterpiece Beast Wars MP-41 Dinobot, and he looks amazing. He's obviously based off season 1 Dinobot from the Beast Wars cartoon. I guess season 1 and season 2, because the Transmetal Dinobot was a different character. But yeah, like, just look at this guy. I unboxed him, I know, a couple days ago. But look at that Dinobot head. Look at this body. Like, okay, clearly, right, not perfect. It's got some robot bits hiding out underneath. But like I transformed him a little while ago to get used to the figure, learn its kind of like play pattern and stuff. And we're just talking about, I think to me, this is what Masterpiece is. This figure right here is the definition of a masterpiece. So we'll really quickly just put him next to his cast. So there we go. There's Dinobot. Here is Masterpiece Cheetor. And I mean, look at how big this guy is, right? Here is Masterpiece Optimus Primal. Oh, and I am bumping my camera starting out strong today. So yeah, like, look at, this is our season 1 Maximals so far. And he's huge. He is enormous. And he's big to the point that I wasn't sure if this was like, I was like, was he really that big on the show? I went back and I looked at screenshots, and yeah, Dinobot was always just big. And I think the way they frame certain shots and stuff, his model is big. They try to frame shots to make him seem not as big sometimes, but he was still the biggest of the cast up until like Tiger Hawk came. But yeah, so he looks incredible. Like, these guys, again, look like they walked off the show. Need my Rat Trap, need my Ronox, need my Air Razor, need my Tigatron. But we'll get there eventually. Black Arachnia, she'll get there. Let's see if I can not bump the camera. Probably not. Here he is with Generations Rat Trap, just because they're the buddies. And I want to say, size-wise, this kind of seems right. Rat Trap maybe could be a smidge bigger, but not too much bigger. I do hope we do get a Masterpiece Rat Trap. This is a great Generations figure. But like, you can just look at the style, right? Like, this guy looked like he came out of the cartoon. This guy looks like like kind of a furry, realistic rat. So I hope we get an update of him eventually. I'm sure we will. The only other size comparison I have, get him standing again, is going to be against my other Dinobot. This has been the Dinobot in my collection. This is the mold is the original Beast Wars Dinobot. Look at this guy. This is the original toy. I think this was like the Color Mocha series that Japan did, where they did the Beast Wars toys in not realistic, show accurate paint details. So he's got like the blue head and everything. I want to say that's what this Dinobot specifically is. But again, look at this size difference. This is, don't talk to me or my son ever again. Like this, he's a big, big boy. And as a Masterpiece figure, he can do a lot, even in his alt mode. So first off, we'll go through his articulation. Great articulation in the head. Head can pivot, head can go down a ways, it can go up a ways. If you're trying to get like his running pose as much as he can kind of get that tail behind him and get his head out looking in front of him. The head, the mouth can move. It can move plenty big. Can close up. His tongue can articulate. Look at that. Again, we've got waggle and all sorts of posability here. The arms, for little teeny raptor arms, they put a surprising amount of articulation in these. There's a butterfly joint in the shoulder, which this guy doesn't do anything except just move the arm. It's not really for transformation. There's a bicep swivel in addition to that butterfly joint, so you can get all sorts of posability out of that. There is an elbow, can go back, further than you need it to, but it can go out straight, no problem. Get that elbow. There's a double wrist joint. That's partially for transformation, but you can get these wrists kind of in whatever weird pose you want. He broke his arm or something. Yeah, there is a ton of articulation. The fingers don't articulate, but that's fine. And these fingers are, I want to point out that, that hurts. These are razor sharp. Yeah, the arms look great. His legs, the legs lock into place a little bit due to transformation. You can, if you wanted to, bring the leg down and it frees up the leg, but it will make him a lot less stable. But if you wanted to do that to get some pose, you can absolutely do that and get some additional leg posability out of the way. He's got knees in his raptor mode, no problem. He's well, that hand's sticking out because I popped it out. He's got his ankles can move, so you can get that raptor slash. His toes, I didn't realize this, are individually articulated, so you can get each of his toes wherever you want them for, let's say, he's making like some sort of pouncing attack. Get the toes out there. And he's got ankle rockers to help his posability. In addition, the last piece of articulation, and I'm fiddling with him sort of. He came loose just a little bit because I was messing with him. His tail has plenty of articulation in it. Can go side to side. No problem. Up and down in this section. Up and down in both of these sections, so you can really get as like a natural tail curve as you want with him, which is awesome. And yeah, he's just great. I spent, when I unboxed him on Thursday, or I guess I unboxed him on Wednesday. The Thursday after, I didn't shoot any footage yesterday because I was so busy just playing around with what he could do before I even got to transforming him. And yeah, if you get his poses extreme, it breaks the sculpt up a little bit. But, that's a trade-off you can make to get to the pose that you want to get to, which I really, really appreciate. One more thing he can do in beast mode. These eyes, those lovely, lovely eyes, if you want him to be angry, instead of coming with alternate heads or faces like Cheetor and Optimus Primal did, they did something ingenious here. You can open up his head and you can drop his eye down and rotate it. And now you've got kind of that squinty, angry, predatory eyes, which I really, really like. It's only the two sets. It's a really cool, it's a pinwheel there that you can move and lock it into place one way or the other. If you go too far, the eyes go backwards, but you just keep spinning and there is the right eye position again. And I think that's awesome. Besides that, for his accessories as a Velociraptor, he comes with the famous golden disc from Beast Wars. Again, if you haven't seen Beast Wars, go watch Beast Wars. It's amazing. To help him hold this, the disc comes with a little stand that you can, set it up like an album or a picture frame. It comes with a little piece like this that sets inside his hand here. So you can set that in there and help him turn a little bit. Turn his arms. It just helps him hold his golden disc in his raptor mode, which I really, really appreciate. I think that's really cool. And of course, we can get to more features and golden disc stuff in his robot mode. But that plugs away right here on his clear stand to hold that golden disc out of the way for us. The very, very last thing is just going to be his stand that he comes with. And it's huge, right? Got to get it on camera. His stand here, I put it together on my unboxing video if you want to see. It's pretty simple to put together. But what it comes with are some attachments, one for his robot mode and one for his alt mode. This is his alt mode attachment that you can use to cradle him and help him stand if you want to get him in more action poses where he's going to be a little unstable. So you take his raptor stomach here and you open that up. This slot right here will port, that's what the word I should use. This port will fit around, and that might be tough to see on camera, that piece here. So we can take him, slide it into his stomach, and then port through that peg on his stomach will peg around that cradle. So then you get this clear cradle attachment on his stomach just attached. And then that will port into his stand. So if you want him in different actiony poses or one leg or attacking or something, you can do that no problem. Get him at different heights. You know, let's say we want him making like a raptor jump or something and trying to attack someone with his claws. We can absolutely do that. Get that tail up and out of the way. You know, which I really, really appreciate. This stand, I was hoping we'd get an extra copy of in the Masterpiece Megatron, Beast Wars Megatron box, but we didn't. I think it's just, he came with an adapter for this stand. But this is an awesome stand, and it can, if you get multiple copies, if they gave us more than one, then you could slide them together, and I think that's just really, really neat. I appreciate that. But yeah, that was Dinobot in his alt mode, and it's awesome. I think I've talked for like 10 minutes already just on him in his alt mode. This will probably be my longest single review, but let's go ahead and get to transformation next. To get started, let's get him off this stand and get the stand out of the way. Get that off. And get the cradle off. Just kind of pull his stomach down. Get that guy out of there. Okay. So what I like to do with Dinobot, first things first, take kind of his front side piece, and we're going to fold that down. And you can already see how that kind of forms up his upper thigh, which I think is a really cool bit of geometry trickery to get that to fit both ways. Pull this guy down on that side, and this lets us lift up his back, pull this up and out of the way, and we can remove his tail from the rest of his body. The tail, well, we can go ahead and transform it now, actually, just so we don't forget. We're going to split it in half vertically. Got to find a good place to stick your fingernails in there. There we go. Pull the tail apart. Pull his sword out. And it's that lovely purple metallic color from the show. I always thought it was a little more blue on the show, but I guess maybe it was not, and that was just like my memory in TV. Sword gets put to the side. The bits of his tail, when you go down 2 links, so 1 link, 2 link, that link you can pull, and you can see it separates out, and you can flip that part of the tail in, and it's got a tab and a peg to fit into a port on the side of the tail. Same thing on the other side. 2 links down, flip that out, flip this section of the tail around. Again, we've got a peg and a tab, fits into a port and a slot. And there is his spinning shield thing. We can disjoint it by pulling this piece down, and that actually lets it spin. Put that to the side. Then we can come back to our main Velociraptor body. So we've got this part out of the way. I'm going to come in. I'm going to lift up his eyes, fold the back of his head in, get that. It actually turns into a little port up there. Tuck his head down, come in, and on his arms, tuck the arms in. And I don't remember exactly the way they need to go, but we'll figure that out once we get to that part. Split or bring his stomach, separate that out, split the front of his chest open. It's tabbed in together, split that. And I think when his arms are like this, we want his arms kind of pointing up, and we'll come back to that front section of Dinobot in a little bit. Come to his back, split open his feet. Then each of his robot mode legs are kind of on a double hinge, Z-shaped in there. We can flip out this part of the bone of his shin, his like metallic bone pieces. Close that part of the leg around that bone piece, and then extend the back of this blue piece and bring down his robot mode foot. Same thing on the other side. Get the bone, shin bone connects to the knee bone. There we go. Get it out of there. Reconnect his shin. Get his ankle out of the way. Close the back of his Achilles tendon around his ankle. Then on his feet, each of his feet, you can see it's got 3 segments: dino skin, orange, and then gray. Push the orange section up, and it'll complete that bit of dino detail right there. Flip out his heels, and the way his legs or his feet tab together in dino mode, we want to close that tab so he's got flat feet. Then we can come in, and his robot mode, let's see if we can get that on camera. His robot mode thighs are connected to his dino mode thighs. We had to break that connection to get some additional articulation out of his raptor mode. Well, we'll break it for transformation as well. Oh, God, gotta be better about avoiding the camera. And get kind of his whole neck and shoulder assembly out of the way. So now all we've got is thighs. We can bring his legs down. There we go. And you can see they're kind of disjointed and disconnected. We actually want to compress. So now we've got a knee, we've got a solid shin, we've got feet, we've got his legs pretty much done. We can turn his legs around, I believe. We'll get back to that in a second. Flip these parts of his legs around. Okay, so now we got to build his torso piece. So we flip this up. We can fold his other piece of his raptor back up, and we've got this kind of section of his raptor that we need to hide that head. And this is like, so the legs are an awesome transformation. This, I love the way he kind of flips inside out. It's just incredible engineering to solve this problem of getting this transformation similar to how it is on the show. So we fold in, let me come around this way. We're gonna fold in his raptor head, fold his arms back behind his raptor head, and fold these pieces to the side, and this will connect together to form that torso piece with his head hiding away in this hole, like this. We're not gonna close it up yet because there's a really cool thing we do with his raptor shoulders. So we can come up here, we can go ahead and form his fake raptor face. This is his raptor stomach. It's on a double joint back here. You just gotta articulate it down and get, let's see if I can get the skinny piece out of the way of the fatter piece and close it back up. And there you get that mashed down raptor head that he's known for having as his chest. Onto his shoulders. His shoulders, we're gonna come in this way, collapse the raptor thighs down and out of the way, get his fake chest out of the way right now. Extend up these raptor thigh pieces out of the way. Rotate around his actual robot shoulders. His arms we build by opening up the back of, I guess it's his tricep, bringing out his robot hands and flipping everything around 360. Then we can close his raptor toes and collapse things back in to his tricep. And we've got a wrist built. I hope that was on camera. I'll try and be a little more cautious. He's just big. He's surprisingly big, so I'm trying to be more careful about when I'm on camera. Open up his tricep, fold out his robot hand, fold away his raptor toes, flip things around. I'm always a little... There we go. Slide it out, flip it around, collapse back his forearm, get that put away, close up his tricep, and now he's almost done. So, you're probably wondering, okay, if this is him like 90% done, where do these raptor bits go? And actually, maybe I need to raise my camera just a little bit. Maybe that will help. So, where do these parts of his raptor thighs hide? Because those shouldn't be there. This is another one of my favorite things. I just have a lot of favorite things, I guess, on this guy. Flip around and collapse that shoulder joint. So it flips around, and there is a place you can collapse. Collapse the shoulder joint up. Oh man, I'm sorry about that. Collapse those shoulder joints up, and now these raptor thighs, pulling him down, they can sit around this head. And that port that we made in the back of the head is where his neck is going to port into. So we can close, if we got everything lined up the way we want, we can close everything up around his dino head, collapse it all down and in. Oh, and I think I got his dino arms are not properly where I want them. Okay, I got it. Took a little fiddling off camera. I figured out what it was. Let me untrick because I was like so close to being done with him. Okay, so you can see how his raptor head sits inside his thighs. If we open this arms just a bit, I needed to swivel his bicep 90 degrees so that when I close these pieces up, there wasn't any pressure being applied to the back plate to separate out his chest. So then I can bring the raptor thighs in, collapse onto these slots and tabs right here. That collapses all nice. Collapse that fake raptor chest, flatten it down. There we go. Can close that part of his back. Put his head down. Swivel around his arms. He's got his articulation. And now we've got... Now we've got Dinobot in his robot mode. And, oh, I'm too tall, aren't I? There we go. Look at that guy. He looks awesome. This, again, some fiddling to be done to make sure everything's lined up with his little raptor arms inside his torso. But what a cool transformation. And look at the robot mode it gets you. Just fantastic. Okay, so now that we've got him in robot mode, I mean, there's just even more that he can do. One, he's big and chunky and amazing. He's got great articulation. Head can swivel, he can look up, he can look down. His arms, they can go in and out at the shoulder. They've got their shoulder swivel. That counts as like kind of a high bicep swivel. They've got some pretty good elbow articulation. His raptor feet will come out of his tricep, but that's okay. His fingers on his Dinobot robot hand are individually articulated. Well, I guess the inner two are not, but 4 of them are. He can rotate, so he can do all his different sword poses. His legs, there's some molding that you gotta kind of watch out for, but you can get a kick out, you can get a big kick forward, a big kick back. Just because of his robot design, it's so clean and compact that like not a lot gets in the way. He's got double bending knees due to transformation, and that you can take full advantage of those. He's got these deep ankle tilts. He does have some bit of toe control, just as, again, as a result of transformation. So Dinobot can get in some pretty dynamic stances. Close that back up. Which I am really happy with. And of course, he's got his sword that he can hold. It's just got a peg that goes into the port in his hand. Close that up. You get him, you know, swinging his sword around however you'd like. Oh, get that peg back. And I might use some future floor polish to thicken up that peg just a little bit. Come on, work with me, buddy. There we go. But yeah, he just looks awesome. I showed off his little spinny shield gimmick before. You can get that pegged into the port in his other hand, no problem. Those are his two main accessories, and he looks great using both of them. He looks awesome. He looks super, super good. There we go. Yeah, he looks incredible. And he's big, right? Like, let's compare him to Optimus Primal over here. Kind of get them back up a little bit. And Cheetor, here are the Masterpiece Maximals right now. He is huge compared to the other two. And again, it fits the cartoon. It makes me super happy that I have a Masterpiece Dinobot. He just looks awesome. The last size comparison, I think, would just be Dinobot standing next to the original Dinobot toy. And again, look at that size difference. That is adorable and awesome. They've just come such a long way. I mean, obviously this was, I think, at the time a $10 toy. You pay the I think I paid $230. You pay $230 and this is what you get. And it's incredible, right? He basically flips inside out. You build him a torso. Like, to me, this is real transformation. I love it so very much. He just looks so awesome. He can hold that golden disc from before if you want, without much problem. He can, if you really wanted to, close that. You can actually peg the golden disc holder and slide that disc kind of like this, you know, get him holding it a little more securely, or hold it out like this. Again, just so good looking. He's got some accessories for his robot mode. He's got these laser eye things, and he's got some face swaps. So you just got to pop out. We'll get that out of the way. Get his sword out of the way. Pop the back of his, or front of his face off. Oh, I didn't even show off. I totally forgot before I move forward. His mouth even opens so you can see them. You've got like beautifully painted Dinobot teeth right there that you can show off in that face. Look at that beautiful Dinobot head sculpt. But yeah, so you can pull, I'm grabbing at the wrong spot. There we go. Pull that head off. He does have a light. I don't have batteries for it at the moment. He comes with plenty of alternate heads. Here are some clear eyes That'll actually, his other ones, this was his head he was just wearing, they're painted red. These are clear eyes to show off his laser beam gimmick. If you wanted to get his laser beam eyes shining out of here, you can absolutely do that. Pull that off. Here is a bigger eyed head. That's what he looks like, kind of with maybe like a surprised face. Just such good definition. Like, favorite character, favorite toy. This is easily a centerpiece to a collection. Oh. Can I get that back off? There we go. The last one is kind of that Dinobot smirk. And yeah, like, to me, up until I got my hands on him, I think Megatron was my favorite. You can do a little wave. I think MP-36 was my favorite Masterpiece figure and my favorite toy. And it was like, MP-36 was the height of Masterpiece engineering. Now that I've got Dinobot in hand, not only does Dinobot give Megatron a run for his money, I mean, to me, and this might be my nostalgia for the character, this is the best engineering Takara has ever showed us. What they're able to make the robot mode look like, what they're able to make the dinosaur mode look like, how you go between them. It felt intuitive, like besides a little bit of compression and clearance in the chest, I only transformed him once off camera. And then I was like, oh, I've got it. Let me just go through the steps. He looks so clean. He looks so good. I mean, the paint, just everything, just fantastic. Okay, I'll stop gushing because I'm sure this video is long enough. Thanks for checking out Dinobot. If you're curious at all about Masterpiece Beast War figures, he's incredible. He's just incredible. And I will catch you all on the next one, where we look at Masterpiece Megatron, Beast Wars Megatron. All right, have a great day, everyone. See ya.